Hi, my name is Councillor Luci Blackborough and I'm here at Campbelltown Council today to talk to you about how I would increase women's participation in politics to achieve parity of representation. The idea of setting targets is thrown around a lot in this debate, and it raises a reasonable question: what good is setting a target if you don't have the right measures in place to achieve it? Women need empowerment through genuine endorsement, not tokenism. For example, the Labor Party first began setting gender quotas or allocated seats for women in the 90s. Currently, with 47% representation in federal parliament, they're looking like they're on track to achieve gender parity. And this is simple proof that quotas do work if implemented sincerely. If we successfully remove gender bias in politics across the board, in the long run, we should see an average of 51% gender split in favour of women. If we look to other countries for further evidence of successful quota systems, the Republic of Rwanda comes out on top. After the Rwandan genocide in the 90s, during the process of rebuilding a nation, Rwanda's constitution was rewritten to allocate 24 of 80 seats in their lower house to be reserved for women. But their quota system simply acts as a means, with the rest coming naturally, as the electorate has consistently voted for more women. They have almost 2/3 majority of female representation, with one Rwandan MP saying the influence and leadership of women has been essential to Rwanda's social and economic progress. But achieving parity is much more than just numbers and quotas. It's a cultural issue among politicians, mass media and other influential public figures. For instance, on International Women's Day, Prime Minister Scott Morrison said, "We don't want to see women rise only on the basis of others doing worse." Some are concerned that if you endorse a candidate based on their gender, you are not selecting the most appropriate candidate for the job. However, given some of the appalling behaviour women in politics have previously been subjected to, you have to wonder if the current system really is selecting the best candidates for the job. Let's turn our attention to the fate of some high-profile MPs. Julie Bishop, Kelly O'Dwyer and Kate Ellis have all retired this year, and Tanya Plibersek has stood down as Deputy Labor leader. Julia Gillard, who is to date the only woman to hold the positions of Prime Minister and leader of a major party in Australia. She lasted 3 years and admittedly has fared better than some of our more recent Prime Ministers, but it doesn't look like Australia will see another female Prime Minister for a while to come. Senator Larissa Waters, another example, who famously breastfed her infant daughter on the Senate floor, cops unfair and unnecessary criticism from Conservative fellow parliamentarians. Perhaps this is an indication of the different sort of barriers women face. I'd like to share my experience as to why I personally pursued politics, and my hope is that one day more and more young women will choose to pursue it as well. In some ways, local government is more accessible than state or federal government. There's no need to join a party in South Australia, and in some instances you only need a few hundred votes to get elected. But there are also challenges that come with non-compulsory voting, given that the people who do vote in local government elections are typically of a much older age demographic. In my own council, I am surrounded by incredible women of all ages who do an excellent job in supporting me. We're a majority female council with 6 women councillors and our first female mayor in 150 years. I'm thankful to have not just one mentor, but a small team of them, and this has greatly contributed to my confidence both prior to the elections and now. Beyond council, I am grateful to have supportive residents within my ward, and ultimately they are responsible for my being here. More often than not, whilst campaigning during the election, I was met with an array of positivity and encouragement. To me, this says that voters are ready for change. It's for this reason that achieving gender parity in politics starts from the ground up. I am a 19-year-old young woman and I'm here. Yes, I'm actively fighting an internal battle that I have every right to be here and that my opinion is as valuable as the adults around me. But I have a voice and I have a right to be heard. To quote Gloria Steinem, you can't empower women without listening to their stories. And women have stories, ideas, passion and a willingness to learn just as much as the next person or man. But don't just listen to us. We need women of all ages, demographics and experiences representing us in government, so empower us to help create real change in Australia's political landscape. It's not just up to women to put their hands up and for political parties and mass media to adjust their culture, but if we really want parity of representation, we need to see a change in the intangible, people's attitudes. Achieving equality in politics is a complex issue with a complicated solution, but it starts with you. We can all do our bit in our own circles to shift the attitudes of those around us.